Well, it's a very exciting story actually, because the curriculum at St Cuthbert School in Inglefield Green is based on the children bringing their learning to life through something that we call authentic outcomes. So during our history project, we've been learning about the Romans. And about 3 years ago, I got my little thinking cap on to see how we could bring the children's learning to life. Found Egham Museum on the map, gave them a little phone call, and fabulous Amy Stone answered and was able to bring my curriculum dreams to life, which was wonderful. So the last 3 years we visited Egham Museum, and the children have curated their own exhibition, which has been brought to life here. Well, the first contact that I had with the museum was that phone call with Amy, and on my first visit, I was so surprised through this little entrance from Egham High Street, up some stairs, and you were into just a world all about the history of Egham and the local area. And as a local resident, I was particularly cross at myself that I'd never even visited before. It's a hive of information in here. It's really interactive, and there's loads of really cool things to look at and find out about Egham. So for the last 3 years, we have worked together with Amy Stone and the Egham Museum team to curate an exhibition all about the Romans, which I'm surrounded by. I've been very proud of my classes for the last 3 years. They initially come down for a pre-visit where the museum is just as it would be on a day-to-day basis. The children get to have a little look around, and they have a discussion with Amy about how a museum comes to life and it enables everybody from all walks of life to access history. The children then take that information away and they use their knowledge and skills from their learning in school to plan and then eventually curate an exhibition of their own. And over the last 3 years, the exhibition has got better and better in terms of being accessible for all learners. And every year, I don't think I could be any more prouder. And then I am. It's wonderful. So I don't think it's necessarily what I've learned, but I know from the children's point of view, their skill set is just having this immersive experience that they're involved in. It is just huge for them. So if we were to keep the learning in school and in their books, they're not thinking about their audience, they're not thinking about their critical friend, they get to come here, their work is on display, it's open to the local community, and they've really got to think about who's reading their work. So part of their process is to come up with some different activities set around the museum, how they can present their learning in different ways. And it really challenges them to kind of get out of their exercise books, and they bring their learning to life in forms of, they did some performance poems, they have created QR codes, they've done a quiz, they've got little interactive stations around such as mosaic making. And for them to have to really think about somebody else rather than just their teacher marking their work was brilliant for the children. Oh, it has revolutionised my teaching of history. It's absolutely brilliant because every little bit of teaching that I do in the classroom relates 110% to their authentic outcome at the end of curating this exhibition. So for me in the classroom to be able to say to the children, we're going to be using this learning, we have to be able to remember it, recall it, we have to jazz it up a little bit, we have to display it in a creative and fun way. It makes it so much more engaging for those learners in the classroom, which is what we want at the end of the day, happy, engaged children that are really benefiting from their learning. I wasn't really aware that we were making much of a difference to the museum at the first year. I was just so excited at the difference it was making to the children's learning in school. However, when at the time, 3 years ago, I was working with Sarah, she was so excited when I came back one day to just come and visit it for myself about how many different types of people had visited the museum, how how many different families had come, how many people said they didn't even know Egham Museum was here. And year on year, I recognise that lots of the families say to me, you know, Mrs. Gray, I didn't know it was here, and I'm bringing the grandparents back. And in one particular year stood out, and it was when the Egham Fair was in the High Street. And the museum exhibition was up from the children, and I actually brought my own children in here because they had a craft activity. And there were people sitting around, just people that weren't linked with St Cuthbert's at all, but they'd come to visit the museum exhibition because they'd heard about it. So I hope that the difference that St Cuthbert's make is that it brings a lot more people, a lot more friends and family to the Egham Museum family. I would say to local schools, teachers looking out there for a way to bring their children's learning to life, to just ring Egham Museum. It is honestly one of the best things that I've done in the last few years regarding my teaching. It's just an easy experience to work with Egham Museum. They're really flexible on the time that you can come and visit. They are accommodating to your requests. Amy's been brilliant. We've had these banners made, and she's come and visited the children in school. I would just say, pick up the phone to Egham Museum, give them a call, and bring your learning to life in a way that St Cuthbert's has been able to do.